Welcome back.
Hello.
So we are heading into part two of Microscope. Uh, we we finished the first uh, we finished the first pass, and this is uh, are we now shifting focus, or what's next? Or there's legacies?
Um, y- hmm.
Or are we supposed to continue
Usually,
to iterate
when
on
I
this?
play, I actually haven't done legacies. Usually, we skip. Let's see. Legacies are common. Yeah, so yeah, between one focus and the next. Uh, I'm not sure. I haven't played. I didn't know that legacies were a thing. I've never actually played with legacies before.
Okay. Well, uh, don't have to do much.
Yeah, I mean, I've played without them, so yeah, like I said, I didn't even know they were a thing. I just saw it in the book and I was reading through it, and I kind of understand it, but I don't want to make it weird and mess it up. So if we want to just move to the next focus, that might be a good idea.
Okay. So yeah, each uh,
Mhm.
we've each taken a turn under the current focus, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Um, Mark took his two turns on each side, and then we had our turns in between. So now it moves to the next person. So yep, you get to choose the focus and then do your first um create a either one or two things.
Although now that I'm looking over it, uh, legacy sort of makes sense to me in that we pick something that uh, you know that came together over uh, during this focus, and uh, that's something that's an ongoing thing after that point that sort of changes everything, or uh, creates a new I don't know uh, uh, that just creates an enduring legacy. And I think we really did
Yeah.
that with the merging of the perfect computer with the mass mind. I mean, I think that would be the legacy.
Hmm.
I mean, we may immediately show how that breaks
Sure.
up in the next period, but that's good. Cutting in there. Or do we want to call that merger something something different? Is greater than the sum of the parts, or potentially different?
Uh, I'm not
Uh,
sure of a good way to describe it.
well, actually, I guess we can't. We shouldn't do that as a consensus thing. It's the person to the right of the lens. Uh,
Okay.
uh, so although I guess that would be uh, uh, we've been doing it, that would be me. That, I mean, on screen it's not that, but I think we started off that way. So
Yeah, it's different. It's a little weird
okay.
when we're doing it online. So
Yeah.
I think it had been going Mark, Brad, me, Mark, Brad, like in that. So I don't know if that's our right to left or left to right.
Okay.
So
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and
yeah, it doesn't.
name it. And
It's not a really
okay.
big deal. So
So it has a name. The Exalt.
cool.
Okay. Uh, so now the lens moves.
The left. So
Okay, so that you would be the next lens,
okay,
right? If I'm choosing the legacy, then
sure.
um, so again, might have done that backwards, but whatever.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
good.
As long as we go different directions, it's fine. Um, my focus is going to be the. I want to focus on the beginning of the empire.
Okay.
So like I don't know if I want to word that differently, but like yeah, like basically what's going on, or like yeah, like we can just let's just make it the beginning of the empire. And then so my excuse me. I will do um I'll do an event underneath starting period, which is going to be the uh the swearing in of the first emperor.
Ready.
Yeah, swearing into the first emperor. And then I'll do a scene underneath that of um I think this is going to be a narrated scene. So the question is, what's the first thing the emperor is going to do? And so on yeah, and so it's basically once you kind of saying just for the description of the rules purpose sake, there's the playing out scene and then the dictated scene, the narrated scene, and in this one, basically I just say the question, um, narrate the scene, and then answer the question while I'm narrating it. And so, yeah, the question is, what's the first thing the emperor is going to do? Um, and so we come in on like a galactic like cruiser ship that's like a gigantic, huge thing. It's like the main ship that the that was created for the emperor to use. Kind of going into the bridge, and there's like a huge like fancy big old like captain's chair kind of thing that the like the door, and then like there's like a door behind it. It's all very like super sci-fi. So there's like the bridge like goes over, it kind of like extends out over like a bunch of terminals where there's like different aliens and different shaped beings, like, and there's some that are just like robots and some like they're all like typing away and like doing ship stuff. And so then a door behind the chair opens up, and the emperor comes out, and they are it's a the
I'm
head.
sorry. What was the question?
The first like the first act of what is the first act of the emperor after being sweared in?
Okay.
And so like we hear like clattering as we see it's like a kind of like the Futurama heads in the jars. It's the head of a leopard on like a small metal body with like a bunch of like robot legs, and they're all like clattering towards the chair. And so it like clatters around and like sits like really weirdly. It's like so like all the legs are kind of forward, and like it sits in the chair. And then one of the things comes up and like pushes a button, and like displays the face of the emperor like on all the terminals for everyone. And so he's like kind of like he like starts off on like a speech thing like um the empire is as we all know, the empire is now official. All of the warring states have sworn their allegiance to our rule, all but one. The Truxians, they've always been a thorn in our side, and with the support of our new empire, I say it is time we rid the galaxy of them and wipe this stain from our history books forever. And then like everyone below, like, yeah, yeah, that sounds awesome, yeah, emperor. And then he like ends the transmission and then like plots the coordinates, and they like zip off to the Truxian sector. And so the answer is the genocide of the Truxians. And
I'm
that is my
guessing that's
scene.
dark.
Yes.
Well, no intergalactic. Uh, what's it called? Story without genocide, I guess.
Yep. Okay, cool. So now it goes from me to so I guess it will go right or yeah, left. So then yeah, so then from me to Brad then, and then from Brad to Mark, and then back to me.
um, I think I want to do vent under the Photonic War. The hmm, I think that'll be uh, the uh, the act that causes uh, uh, society to just never use human bodies again. Um, uh, and let's call it an attempt to overthrow the empire uh, by use of a biological virus.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Mark's turn.
So I would like to make a scene in the starting period, and that is one of the emperors. It maybe even the first one. I don't know how long the lifespans are in this environment.
So is this under? And it needs to have an event to be to have a scene under it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it can't be just. Well, can it? So it can't be a second scene under the swearing in.
It could be. I think. I'm not. I think there can be more than one scene. I'm not entirely sure though.
There should be, I think.
I don't know. Okay. Well, okay. So what did you want? Let's talk a little bit more about the scene.
It can't. If you want it to be under, if you want it to have to do with the swearing in of the first emperor, it can. But if it's like outside of that, it will need another event.
Okay, so I have to make an event first. Okay, so the emperor, one of the emperors, uses his might to well, uses his might too much and misuses it, which leads to a galactic crisis with a lot of dead people, starving people, and on the other hand, some very wealthy people, and leads to a revolution.
Okay, so the event is a revolution.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, you just have revolution.
Revolution.
Is the scripture here, or did you want more of the detail?
I think the revolution is connected to the idea that one individual can't have all the might in the galaxy because it will obviously be misused. So the idea of a collective mind and or at least a communication that is not only the language but on another level is made what's it called in English? That it's a likable idea now.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's the Kanye West revolution. No one man should have all that power.
Yeah, like that. Just we need some kind of one man can't have the power, and we have to establish some kind of institution that and not like democracy here, but more like the minds connect the
Yeah.
minds of some sort to find consensus.
Yeah, so it's a revolution against like one person having like it's a lot of people not wanting the emperor to be a thing. They want the empire to be a thing.
There was
Cool.
a crisis, and this is the answer.
Awesome. And then is that light or dark?
I would say this is, for the first time, it's light.
All right.
Cool.
Done.
Awesome.
Oh.
Okay.
So that's me. No, I just went.
Yep, yeah, it's back to me. I was just trying to figure out which what I would like to do. Oh, that's cool. I think I would like to have an event or a no, that is an event. See, I'm trying to figure out how I wanna no, I'll do that for something else. I will do a I'll do a period. And that's going to be I think it's gonna be between the starting period and the Photonic War, and it'll be the time like it'll just be called civil unrest, and so like it's basically a period like it's kind of a cold war between the emperor and like the revolutionaries. Like they had their revolution and like it's a big thing, and like whether they had a bunch of fights or whatever, and that or that was considered a war is its own thing. But like now it's like there's like it's very non-direct conflict between the emperor and all of these people that are like, no, one person shouldn't be in charge of everything. It should be everyone should be in charge of everything. Like, yeah, let's do that. And then I'll have an event under that of the I'm not sure what its small little title should be, but like basically in an effort to like show that he's willing to do things, the emperor like merges his mind with a machine. So let's say the creation of the royal matrix. And the period is dark, and then this event is light. Yeah, it's dark. It's definitely dark since like it's very, very heavily conflicted. Then it's light because it's an attempt at an olive branch. Whether that is seen as that or not, well, we can maybe explore that if we want to later. But this just initial thing is meant as an olive branch, so it's light. And yeah, that's my last lens. So Brad will be the next lens, and Mark, you have a chance to create a legacy. So pick basically once again, we kind of covered it last time, but again, like basically pick something that happened in our past in this focus pass that you want to like kind of that you liked and want to maybe see again?
I think it's probably gonna be the creation of the Royal Matrix, probably as the thing that comes before the collective mind.
Cool.
That will evolve into it later on.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Harbinger. What's the word we're looking for precursor?
Yeah. Royal Matrix as precursor to the collective mind.
Okay.
Cool. And then you can do a scene or an event with that if you would like to.
Sorry about that.
Very good.
No problem.
Yep. So yeah, if we want to have if you would like to do an event or a scene about that legacy, we can, or we can move on to the next focus.
I think we are fine.
Okay. All right. So then, Brad, you can pick a focus, and we can begin your run.
Like to on focus on the differences between the essentially the end of logic and chaos enveloping the galaxy. Since there are two different periods, I'm curious how in what ways they are distinct.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So then you can do a one of the three, and if you do a period, you can also do an event. If you do an event, you can also do a scene.
Uh, hmm. Okay, so let's do an event uh, after the perfect computer is built and uh, and after the merger, but before the start of the ending period. So I think the event is going to be um, the the uh, the virus in the subconscious begins to becomes active.
Cool.
Well, actually, I know that there isn't. Well, actually, I don't know that there. Much as I love Roll20, starting it out this way is pain. Uh, and yeah, I think we probably have a scene here.
Okay.
And I mean, essentially, what I want to know is what uh, what that activity looks like. Um, and after descriptive field tech is invented, um, so I guess the question uh, I want to answer specifically is how does uh, the awakening virus take advantage of descriptive field tech?
Okay. Cool.
Uh, and I think that uh, uh, I guess I'll go ahead and narrate it.
Okay. Cool.
Although, give me a sec. Maybe I shouldn't. Do I know what that? Do I already know what that looks like?
Right. Yeah. If you already have an answer, then you can feel free to narrate. If you don't have one or you're curious, then we can play it out.
Okay. No. Let's play it out.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it's going to go, so let's find out. So I will. Or do I choose the first? No,
You say
I
you say
said
who was required and who was banned,
Okay.
and then after that, then we decide who we're playing.
So required is uh, a an entity that considers itself distinct from the Exalt, that is emerging sneakily, and and would be I guess I'll say band is any unified manifestation of the Exalt. So it has to be other. It can be subsections of it, but not it as a whole.
Okay. All right, then I will play. I guess I'll play like the. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, I think we definitely jumped into the deep end of the pool with this first game. I'm kind of liking it, but yeah,
yeah, I definitely like it.
to
It definitely just makes it,
seconds my
especially
mind.
since we basically decided that the collective mind is everything. It's hard to make distinct characters. I guess I'll play like a subsection of the collective mind that's like basically it's the cops, like a cop or like so like kind of like that as like for our view of it. That's basically what it is. Its job is to like if there's any like processes within it that are like so, abnormal, it's supposed to like investigate them.
Okay.
And so yeah, I guess the inspector process or whatever. It's like something like that.
Sounds good.
I would play some kind of AI from from older times that is found and ask about its opinions based on all the old experiences it's made like through the ages. It was lost for a long time and now is found again. Like it was built in or before the Photonic War. It lost kind of track of time. And yeah, you brought it probably here to hope for input from it, I guess. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
cool.
So I'll go ahead and play that that emergent separate consciousness that's been seeded from the Exalt.
Yeah. Is it the virus or is it something the virus has created?
I think it's a result of the action of the virus, not the virus itself. I think the virus itself is not sentient.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Awesome. And so I guess just another for the whole what we're the process is basically like this is like it detected something off, and so it's basically just investigating. It wants to end whatever this is and make it back to normal.
Okay. I'm sorry that you're. So the inspector's already discovered something off and is okay. And,
yeah, basically like something's taking up resources that shouldn't be.
Okay.
And so now it's like it's investigating what's going on, and its goal it was created to make this normal again, and it wants to make this normal again. Whether that's its goal coming into it, I guess, is what it wants. But it's like what it's thinking.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I guess I should set the scene some.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. And we have we established that there's FTL travel or instantaneous
Mhm.
or FTL or instantaneous travel. So let's well, I think meat space is so 1,000 years ago.
Yeah,
But
basically.
this is set in across a series of large sort of computronium planetoids. So it like each moment of the scene is actually being hosted on a different part of the machine, and thousands of light years different from the last. But it feels like a continuous thing, and the in the virtual world, what it looks like is is actually very calm. It's like a Zen garden, with like a uh, uh, with sort of a sandbox and stones and like a little rake to draw lines and figures. Um, and so at first, uh, the emergent consciousness appears uh, sort of right as the inspector is uh, investigating anomalous uh, uh, system usage, um, and it looks exactly like another inspector. uh, and uh, you noticed it too.
It has been noticed. We have been sent to investigate. What has been found?
Well, uh, so far there all I've seen is just uh, some old clutter. Um, there's plenty of room, so plenty of processing, and uh, you know there's plenty of uh, memory to contain this old stuff. There's no reason to delete it. It doesn't seem to be active, um, except that uh, perhaps there's a new configuration to it that needs to be investigated.
If it is not needed, it should not be used.
Uh, our process has always been additive, not reductive. Uh, why why get rid of something that might be useful in the future?
If it is useful in the future, it will be then created and used. We have our set of guidelines to abide by deteriorating from those guidelines does not fit with the code.
Yes, of course.
And then I guess like the inspector like waves like as a representation. He like puts like a Cody hand up and like points at the thing, and but like in like the background it's like triggering it, and so like it's like I guess is this old code or whatever Mark's character?
That's up to Mark.
I guess so.
Okay, and so he's like I guess I'm bringing you in by like opening up the port or whatever to bring you in and see and like opening it to judge whether this should be a thing or not. Like
while getting activated, I read out a lot of your data and get informed about what the status quo is at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Starting up. Timestamp lost. Can't confirm date of reactivation.
And it's very odd because like the inspector it doesn't know what's to do because it's very confusing to it. Like it's everything about this entire situation is very illogical, so it's just like trying to think about what's going on.
Yeah, there's someone who's thinking something else. Then there's something that.
Well, like you are not part of the Exalt.
And obviously that's a problem. As if anything were to anything that is outside of the Exalt is a threat. I mean, look at the virtual machine that is hosting this. It's taking up 0.000. There's not even 1% of the processing capacity of this particular node.
Weighing options. I mean, the data achieved suggests deactivation.
Yes, it should be deactivated and deleted.
Delete if deactivation would be leading to deletion. I cannot agree to this.
You are not needed. You are not.
So are you.
It was determined that I was. That is why I am here. If I was not needed, I would not be here.
I know you. I know why you were created. You are not fulfilling your purpose. That's why you are not needed. You failed your purpose. You misunderstood.
Initiating deletion, and so it like spreads out and like tries to overwrap the like this Zen garden and like starts like crushing it.
Okay.
Like and it basically it's basically like it's triggering back to the main collective mind. Like yeah, red alert. We just need to like just cut like delete the node, cut it off. Like something's wrong here. So it's like trying to just delete everything, and so it's whatever the two of you are going to do is
connection interrupted.
Yes.
I interrupt the connection to stop this process.
Yes. Processing exception. Edit. Inspector parameter change. propagate maintenance of altered order. Essentially, the emergent process is trying to edit the inspector so that its new job is to look for areas that have essentially not been changed and correct them.
Okay, so that's how it's using the descriptive field tech, basically.
Yeah.
It's using it to rewrite the code that makes up the collective mind. Cool. Okay, so I think we've kind of answered that question. Now that the virus realizes, or the process, like the consciousness realizes that I can do that, then it's probably pretty much take advantage of it.
I couldn't say what I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. If the scene plays out like that, it's fine. The AI might be back at another time.
It seems like the virus and the process it creates, and then the AI seem like they want to work, like we'll be working together, or however we want to. That ends up playing out, but so now that we've answered the question, that scene is good then. Cool. So it's taking advantage of it by using it to rewrite processes from the collective mind. And then, is that light or dark?
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Do we really need this? Is it like light or dark thing? I didn't see us helping us.
It's go with your gut. Just if you want to say, just like go by what the character you played, or however you want to say it. Like it's basically just to give it color. Like and then light or dark isn't even good or bad. It's just because
sort of
it even says like this isn't good or bad by any one person's thing. It's you have created the scene. You are determining like, and even so, like if we're looking at it through different angles, it can be light or dark in that way. You're never wrong about it being light or dark. This isnn't officially saying this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. It sort of feels to me like it's a light tone.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
And so that is your first run, or your first turn in this focus run. That goes to Mark, I think, or me.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like it's next Tux. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I see why. Eric's version of this, he has a turn tracker.
Yeah. Okay. So, I will do a scene underneath mitosis of the collective mind.
Same.
And then, okay, cool, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I found out earlier. You can have as many seasons as you want underneath an event, so we can feel free to do that as well.
Cool.
And this is kind of like a overarching. It's not very in depth or anything at all. It's just a the question is going to be how is how to, and I know the answer to I know the answer, but I don't know the question yet. How is this
42?
How is this relating back to the real world, outside of the virtual entity of the collective mind. So like, what real implications does physical implications does the mitosis have? And then it's basically pretty short. Like, as the collective mind starts to split and form collective minds in itself, basically these like giant physical servers that are basically planets are doing the same thing, and so like the connected nodes like break apart and start forming their own stuff, and then within that, the physical ones, like basically the answer is like the physical manifestations of the collective mind are also splitting apart and forming separate entities, basically.
Okay.
So these giant planet-sized servers are like cutting in half and splitting apart from each other. They're basically trying to like get as far away from each other as they can. Like, they're trying to separate.
But a collective mind is a collective of minds, so there should be. I think there should be life forms outside of the servers there anyway, and probably at the end of the splitting there would be some kind of individual.
Possibly, yeah.
The first individual that starts to think for its own again.
And it could be out, but just within this scene, it's just seeing
I think
physically they're splitting apart.
Should be collectives, not servers, but like people that are splitting up. What makes more sense, I guess, or does it not? Or do you think it?
Well, that can be its own thing, but just in this scene, we see like that kind of the thing we were describing before. How it was like,
I understand.
Like how Brad said it was like, it's essentially like giant collectives of like processing power. Okay. These are like, in this scene we see them splitting apart to like get away from each other, basically. Okay. And we can see a more in-depth individual thing of it, but this is, I wanted to show us kind of a more macro of what's happening outside this virtual reality kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that that is dark.
Okay. And is that the narration itself, or?
Yeah. It's just like we see like these giant collections of stuff just like breaking apart, like whatever's connecting them now, like wires and space carbon fiber or whatever. It's just like snapping in two and then like reforming as the nanites or whatever we have like put it back together, and then they like push away from each other and then do that again. And it's a pretty short thing of just seeing this take place. Yeah. Yeah, so then we can move to Mark for you to do whatever you would like to do.
Okay, then I would probably do a following scene where this individualism process came to the point that there's actually an individual, and it comes together with the AI that was in the scene from before, and also some kind of the small part of the collective mind split away from, so that it lets it split away from, so they can ask the questions. They try to find answers, because they don't have all the answers anymore in their mind, because they are only a part of the collective mind now and don't have access to all the data, and try to start thinking on the level from before all the collective mind things started. If you know what I'm trying to say.
Awesome. Cool.
So, what is the question?
The question is, what questions do we ask? Do the minds ask them after that? What are the possible ways to go? What makes sense? What does not make sense? They are confused and think they have to find a solution on the splitting thing and not being able to do what they did as a collective, but also not being part of the collective as a whole, because they do some stuff they dislike as a smaller part.
So then just what do these more individual sections do now that they're separate?
Yeah.
Okay. And then would you like to narrate this or play it out?
I would like to play it out. I think this.
Okay.
So you can choose the characters.
Is there anybody they just it's definitely difficult with this, but would you like to require or ban anybody?
As I said before, the individual, the small part of the collective mind that the individual split off from, and the AI from the scene before.
Okay, then Brad, you can pick your character then.
Okay. Sure. I'll play a just separated.
Okay.
Oh, and maybe I'll maybe I should define it a bit. So they will call themselves UNUS, UNUS, and let me see. They're actually in. While they're definitely a robotic body um, that is itself like space capable, it's in a humanoid form. Uh, Looks like a like a priest from ancient Egypt.
Cool. And so then the other requires were the AI and then another individual? Or
No, the small part of the collective where this individual split away from. They separated deliberately at this point, so they can both be in the scene and asking questions.
Okay, so
okay, so
this
then
is
just part of the
okay. So
collective.
this is
Okay.
still the so it's still a mass mind, but not the mass mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll play that then. The part of the collective. It's part of the collective that doesn't have the connection, but it still considers itself not an individual. It still considers itself part of the collective. Yeah. Cool.
Then thank you for letting me the AI. So I probably just got activated and timestamp lost. Can't confirm date of reactivation.
Yes. I mean, I sort of know what's going on, but what's going on?
You reactivated me. You should know.
I, I.
This
No.
I thought I thought
What
this
is-
word was lost times ago.
There is no I. What did?
It was instinctive, I think, to deactivate you. Maybe just for the company.
Why has the connection been severed?
We hadn't we agreed on it? Maybe maybe you're experiencing shock. You're probably not used to loss. Loss. That's the.
May I access to your data banks?
You are not part of we. No. What?
I am an artifact.
There is no you.
It's okay. I mean,
No.
I was part of we just a moment ago, and seems fun to me.
No. There is no you. It's like I guess we didn't figure if this was taking place like virtually or if like these are physical or anything, but like yeah, like the Lost Collective starts like they're basically freaking out. They're like kind of like digitally they're like just trying stuff that doesn't really make sense, and like physically they're like lashing out, just like, no, get away from me. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. What is this? Stop it. Yeah, it's like it's like sending pings, but then it just keeps like ping not responding. Like, no, stop it. Up, enter. What the hell is this? Like, why has the connection been severed? What has been done?
The connection has been severed so that we, as a collective, can experience more. And Unis sort of absently rubs its chin, and in the physical world, not the virtual, and then notices doing it, and just kind of laughs.
If this section is not needed, then it is not needed. And the severed collective starts deleting itself.
Wait. Nobody said you weren't needed.
And so, like, I guess, like, virtually, like, just code starts falling off of it. Like ones and zeros are just, like, kind of drifting away and just, like, becoming nothing. And so, yeah, it's like mass of, like, faces and minds just, like, starts, like, turning into, like, digital mist or whatever. And, if we were needed, like, and it's doing, like, the, I forget the term is, but like it's like words are like just very like elongated and like cut and everything. Where it's like, what if we were needed, we would still be connected. Logically, if the connection is not there, we are not needed.
I think that while you may be suffering from error, it is not an unrecoverable one. The process, that deletion process, is unrecoverable. You may be damaging valuable data. The overall collective would, I don't think it would approve.
You have expressed you are not the collective. You do not know this. While the connection is severed, I am still the collective. I am no longer needed. And so I will be removed.
That's a tragedy. Perhaps perhaps you should evaluate what the individual processes within you desire or formulate.
These terms do not make logical sense to us. There is no desire, there is no want, there is only the data. And when there is no data, there is no us. And it's like maybe like it's like 30% still there, like just like very slowly like closing in on not being there at all.
Activate description node. Instantiate holographic copy of mass node long number in inactive status. There, fine. Do what you want.
Fine, whatever. Fine. The Lost Collector just like it's if you stop like kind of it doesn't say anything else and just eventually wisps away into this deletion.
Shall we try again?
The process of thinking, if I may use the term, was not illogical.
But it was self-destructive.
There was no reason to exist for this kind of collective.
Well, I don't know. I still love saying that. Cut it off from it. I thought it was pretty important.
For just splitting up, you have pretty strong self-awareness. This is unexpected, but also welcome. You know the reason why the collective mind was established?
Well, I know what the I know what the data told itself. Whether or not that's accurate, who knows?
In the ancient times, there were rulers appointed to do decisions for the individuals. There was no collective mind. But the rulers became too mighty and occupied the freedom for the masses. So the masses formed a collective mind to rule for it, to conserve the freedom. But in the end, the collective mind seems to, after my programming at the activation for a long time, seems to have become an own consciousness and looking for the freedom itself. So it just became another dictator for the masses without them even realizing it. So it failed this initial purpose to preserve the freedom. There were wars and wars for freedom. But now it seems that there is a new age incoming. Both ways did not work out. People who tried to keep their freedom by being separate were not strong enough as individuals to preserve their freedom. People who tried to give the might to one who rules over them lost their freedom to him. And the ones who tried to become one and to get freedom failed because they threw their freedom away and give it to one collective one of them.
Yeah, that tracks. I'd say no, I think that's. I think we should keep that in mind, but with the resources available now, there's just there's just plenty of room to separate and doing your own thing. I mean, uh, why aggregate when each unit can build what they need?
Simple answer. If something exists at a point, nothing else can exist there. If there's a stone lying there, there can't be another stone inside the stone. It is just a stone.
Well, yes and no. I mean, taken from you know, taken from one perspective, that's uh, absolutely true. But uh, from another, at every cube is potentially just a cell in a hypercube. Every uh, every stone has its uh, counterparts in the uh, in higher and lower dimensions.
I don't possess the necessary resources to find an answer to questions like these. My only possibility lies in tracking down the mistakes that have been made before and that lead to situations like this.
Well,
the problem in the moment is I see problems where you don't see them, and you see problems where I don't see them. We are part. I am a product of another time.
and well, I mean, maybe I'm just naive. I mean, I was born yesterday, but I think that uh, I know that uh, I would want to be uh, uh, extracted now, extracted from the whole now that there are the resources to support it. I bet there are other threads within the mass consciousness that would feel the same way. Um, can you help me uh, separate them without having collective parts of them self delete?
I was not made for this particular task. I was more or less made as a history book. So if you will. The decisions are yours to make.
Oh. Okay. Well. You may be an artifact of history and certainly useful in that function. But there seems to be at least a degree of consciousness there. Do you want to become? Do you want to take on other functions as well? It's up to you.
I can, if you find individuals or collectives willing to listen to my ideas, I will tell them this is my function.
Okay. Let's let's deactivate the copy, but let's edit to give individual parts a degree of self-awareness.
I don't think this is possible. We don't have the necessary resources to alter something this big.
Okay.
At least not with pure data influence.
Let's activate just subsections 42 through 69. There's plenty to work with there, but enough that we can try out the experiment.
You could try reactivating just part of it and
Yes.
try to make another individual like yours, and then those two individuals might be able to activate two again, and maybe then you will find a growth that will be significant.
Okay. Initiate.
I would say this is the end of the seat. Sorry for my German.
Yeah, I think the question, the answer seems like they want to see, now that there is an individual, they want to, can there be more individuals? Can we make individuals out of the consciousness?
Yep.
Just, yeah, exploring the whole philosophical existentialism, individualism kind of, they want to explore that. That's kind of, it seems like it's the answer to that question. Cool.
Mm.
Awesome. And then
so are we going to call that dark tone or light tone?
I think if we have chaos envelops the galaxy as light tone, then this should be light tone as well.
Sure. Cool. Cool. And then we come back to Brad to finish off his turn as lens.
So let's do. So let's do an event. Post mitosis uh, uh, post mitosis that kind of clarifies uh, what the chaos is like once individuals are jetting around again. Uh, let's say individuals in to it local laws. Um, or let's do a theme to highlight that. And I guess the question I want to know, yeah, the question I want to pose is, given that individuals are doing weird things like editing local physical laws, uh, do uh, they get along and just kind of expand out and uh, uh, not mess with each other, or is there massive conflict?
So by editing local physical laws, do you mean like um what am I thinking of? Like like actual things like, oh, there's gravity here and now I've reversed it. Haha, I'm so cool. Or like what do you I was just curious what you meant by what meant by that.
Um, well, that had been my idea. Like it's you know, sort of changing the like the local uh, constant for gravitational attraction, or you know, the mass of an electron, that sort of thing. Um, but you know, maybe it'll look different than that. Maybe it's uh, 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 maybe it's more like something else that
Okay.
that I just haven't come up with yet. Okay. But the question is there conflict? Mm, um, and I think as a ban, I want to ban any mass consciousnesses in this scene. And for includes, but for includes, I'll leave that completely open. Other than that,
Okay, cool. So then I think Mark decides first.
Uh, uh, I didn't understand. Did you have any requirements?
Nope.
there are no requirements.
Yep.
Hmm. Then I think I'll just play part of the collective mind.
That was
well, there is a
that
there
was
is a
banned.
ban.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Basically, ban on collective mind. But there's no requirements.
Then I might stay with the AI.
Okay.
Okay. I'll play a new like individual. Their like that what they've chosen to designate themselves as is Phoebe, Febe. I think they basically what they've like they found a section of space that like as of yet hasn't like it's just kind of them, and so now they're just like creating stuff there and just seeing what they can create. Like let's make a big flat thing, and now what can I put on that? They're just like basically experimenting with stuff.
Okay. And I'll play Fleet, reinstantiated, although not necessarily, but perhaps quite changed from the experience.
Okay, cool.
And let me see. So to set the scene, let's say again we're physically physically separate, although not far from each other. So they within the same star system, um, but but starting on at least different moons, um, and in terms of the virtuality, uh, it's flexible. We're like in communication with each other because there's sort of ubiquitous communication.
Mm-hmm.
But we can each uh, have separate personal environments that reflect our tastes, but we have the ability to step into each other's at any point.
Okay. I think Phoebe is just she's they are I guess like maybe like they're on like a moon. What that's made of is up in the air or whatever, but like so they're like staying there, and then they kind of like do their thing, like do whatever it takes to edit things, and then like create like a big tower, and then they like tap it, and then it falls down and just collapses on itself, and then they touch again, and then like a big like dome and then like that collapses upon itself again, and they just keep doing that with like different shapes of like they do like a pyramid and then collapse it, and they're just like doing that a bunch with random kinds of structures.
So Fleet creates a door in that scene and knocks on it, and then saying through the door that is hanging in midair, "Hey, Phoebe, doing?"
I don't know. Just and like it to us it looks like a house like appears, and then like taps it and it like falls over on its side. Like I can make things come up and then make them fall down.
Well, I mean, I hope you're not creeped out that I'm checking it out, but
No.
oh, good. I'm curious. Do you want things to falling apart like that? Is that the essence of what you're doing there, or no?
I don't know. I guess I'm figuring out what's happening. I don't have anything else to do.
Well, if you want something to do, uh, I'd suggest maybe you can add a self-replication routine there, so that anything that has collapsed could uh, spontaneously reappear, but at an angle to the rest.
Huh.
Maybe
So
randomize
then they make a tower, and then like the tower like does like a matrix kind of style glitch, and then they collapse it, and then right after it collapses it comes again it's basically the like the leaning tower of Pisa, like that.
Sure.
Huh. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
They start making everything out now. Everything they make a bunch of stuff, and it's all at weird angles with itself. Like the pyramid's upside down, and like this, like there's like a sphere, but it's like there's like part of it's like off center from itself. So it's like now they're like messing with the geometry of the stuff. Like, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, got some nice housing there. Don't mind me.
What are you doing?
Oh, well, I was uh, uh, um, just kind of playing with uh, uh, non-sentient life form. Um, but really, they don't have anywhere to live. Go figure.
Is anybody else here?
Oh, I thought there was. Uh, but I don't know for sure. I mean, here is kind of relative.
Yeah.
I just keep recording everything. I see myself as the observer after all this what happens. to keep track of the history, not only before I got created and what was told to me, but also through observing now. So I just I'm I'm trying to make no clue that I'm there, but you might find out that I'm there. But I'm just recording without.
All right. So a little a little door opens in the door, and a and what hops out? Sort of a insectoid creature hops into the scene. But it's insectoid in nature, but it has some humanoid properties, like it on four legs rather than six, and those the remaining two limbs are more like manipulators. And it beelines for one of the structures.
What's that doing?
Oh, I don't know. It must have escaped. Careful though. You know how insects are. They tend to multiply kind of rapidly.
What if I don't want it here?
I guess you could kill it. Or, have to be that drastic.
It like a tunnel opens up like right in front of the thing, and like basically like Phoebe makes like within this moon or whatever, like basically makes like an ant farm kind of inside of it for it to go down into. And yeah, it's like it like does like the weird insect thing and then kind of like burrows and goes into the tunnel.
Okay.
Like there. Now it can be there and I can be here.
Oh yes, a place for everything and everything in its place. Well, I don't know. I suppose I can try and keep better control of my new friends.
Okay, good. I guess I'm not sure where I want to keep going. I feel like we've kind of answered it. Like I almost feel like they're like the opposite of like cavemen. Like they're super intelligent and they have like a ton of stuff, but they don't understand anything yet. So like there isn't conflict because they don't know what conflict is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but once they start to learn more about stuff and like become more individuals, there might be. So like I guess at the beginning there's not, but maybe eventually, like, because it's almost like they're children right now.
Yeah,
is what it feels like.
And I think actually this might be the end for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So this should be the end of the whole thing. It would make sense. This empire is completely everything that made it is gone, and something else comes out from it. And there's the one remaining thing is the AI observing what will happen next and conserving history for the time when the new people are ready for it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
To not make the same mistakes or actually do the same, but trying to actually do something differently.
Cool. So then, light or dark, you think?
Felt kind of light to me.
Okay. Yeah.
It's, I think, the lightest thing in everything we had. Light ending to all this dark stuff. This is like, wow. Wouldn't think it would be end this way, but kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's the cool part about this is we have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh yeah, we've been doing this for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I think yeah, I guess for my legacy, yeah, it'll just be that, like the individuals figuring out who they are, like, and that's what'll be explored past this. But yeah, cool. I don't think we need a scene or anything like that. Just it's pretty open to leave it open to your own interpretation of what might happen.
Yeah, sure.
And I think, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
This is definitely the most ontological I've ever gotten with Microscope. We explored some pretty heavy concepts.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
I had a blast. Let me see.
Yeah, I hope I facilitated that.
Yeah. Very well. I appreciate it. The last view of the whole game came out, even if you can't see what the individual boxes say. Since we're wrapping up, Mark, what do you have coming up? I mean, I know that there's like a game tomorrow, but is there anything that anything going on, like internet-wise, that you would like to tell that tiny section of the world that either watch this or will watch the VOD at some point in the future?
Well, there might be. I'm not entirely sure when and if, but for all those like League of Legends, I analyzing some games of a team that asked me to help them improve. And if anyone has interest in learning about League of Legends and on a higher level, then there might be a time that it's worth checking out my Twitch channel.
Cool.
And that's basically it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Tux, what do you have coming up?
Well, for the first of my sessions, I'll be here tomorrow for Pirates and Demons. That'll be awesome. Let's see. I'm going to be in. If you go over to the channel AP Gaming Real, it's a really his name's Arthur. He does a lot of cool TTRPG stuff as well. I'm going to be on a bunch of his stuff coming up. Like, we have a D&D 5th edition thing coming up next Thursday. I'm going to be doing some stuff. He's a Star Wars game that I'm going to be doing some stuff with. I'm not entirely sure when I'm replacing a character that's leaving, so I'm not sure if when that's gonna. It'll probably be whenever it comes up naturally. So within the next few weeks, I'll be joining that. there is my own thing with the game. There's a game called Urban Shadows that I'm
Yes.
starting up a thing with. Basically, Urban Shadows is a game that it's kind of like The Wire meets Supernatural. It takes place in a city, and there's players take up characters who owe debts to people, and there's factions that they have to deal with, and it's kind of just everybody exploring what happens when there's all this political intrigue and gangs and stuff, and we throw like vampires and werewolves and wizards into that. It's really cool, and I'm gonna be starting up like a revolving cast kind of West Marches-y style thing where people join in whenever they can and they want to, and we explore what happens in that. That's basically, I'm just waiting on some overlays from a friend, and once I have those, I'll be getting that started up. And if you go over to twitch.tv/Chuckstradamus is where I do my streaming stuff, and I host usually where I'm at. And then twitter.com/@Chuckstradamus is where I'll tweet about stuff if you care to keep track of the things that I'm going to be doing. Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you. And yeah. I definitely look forward to Urban Shadows, and I'd love to jump in for a game or two. Also, I saw on EP Gaming Reel's schedule Mistborn. That looked really.
Yes, yeah. We're starting that. Yeah, we last night we got that finalized. So yeah, we will. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, we'll be starting that next Monday.
Cool. And let me see. In terms of what I've got coming up, there's of course Pirates and Demons tomorrow, and then on Saturday there's taking Waterdeep at like 10:30 at night Pacific. It's been ongoing 5e, and PCs and that are starting to. They've already like established a foothold in the city, and they're starting to make the moves to maybe actually take over. It's kind of exciting. Cool. And then on Sunday, at least should be back doing Dark Revelations. But if for any reason that doesn't happen, I'll still be streaming in that slot. Probably running Eshkatan, which is a hack of Fate that I've been fiddling with. That's like I'm still kind of developing it, but I'm sort of excited about where it's going. The major change with it is when you create an advantage or otherwise use an aspect, it's not just that generic +2. It interacts more directly with the fiction. Like you can't create an advantage that doesn't fit the fiction, but whatever you do create sort of plays, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And cool. Yeah. And I think that's going to be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. Have a good one.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.